Diagnosis for FIFA from a man who knows a thing or two about corruption scandals. Dick Pound was brought into the Olympic movement to clean it up after a similar case surrounding the Winter Games of 2002. Now, the European Parliament had an even stronger message for FIFA's outgoing president. Go now. Lawmakers say Sepp Blatter should leave football's governing body immediately instead of delaying his departure till a replacement is elected at the end of the year. Blatter's resignation was triggered by a criminal inquiry into corrupt executives accused of taking bribes. Well, one FIFA executive who did make a swift exit is Director of Communications, Walter De Gregorio. He quit this Thursday, though he will continue to serve as a consultant. Well, while the FIFA scandal continues to fester, the football world is going about its business. The Copa America has kicked off in Chile, and some claim it's the world's oldest international football tournament, even predating the World Cup. But this year's edition could also be one of the richest, since the contest will feature some of the highest paid footballers in the world. And for more on this, we go to Joel Richards, who is outside the stadium where the opening match is underway. Joel, good to see you. Joel, this is obviously a big deal for soccer fans, but what economic impact do you think the Copa will have on Chile's economy?
Evening, Michelle. As you said, the Copa America then is underway. Chile, the host, taking on Ecuador at the National Stadium here in Santiago, just behind me. And as you rightly said, this is a tournament which brings together hundreds of millions of dollars worth of footballing talent. Just recently, there was one study which suggested that Argentina's Leo Messi would transfer for around $250 million. So a real wealth of talent on display. But in terms of what it means for the Chilean economy, the numbers are considerably more modest, Michelle. Obviously, this isn't the World Cup. It is an important competition nonetheless, though. And Chile's certainly hoping this can inject some cash into the economy. 8 cities hosting games in this tournament, but at the same time, hosting the Copa America has put the spotlight on social and economic issues here in Chile. Home supporters and game sponsors are backing Chile's national team at this Copa America. With increased optimism about how Chile will perform, new businesses such as this store have opened, tapping into growing support for the national team.
We are selling lots of Chile shirts, which cost about $70. Also, teams with the best players, which are around $20.
But it is supporters from other countries in this competition arriving who will boost the Chilean economy. According to the National Chamber of Commerce, Chile is expecting over 110,000 visitors in the coming month, and those tourists will be spending in the region of $60 million US. Those we spoke to in Santiago had mixed views over whether Chile and Chileans will benefit from hosting this tournament.
In the last 2 weeks, lots of tourists have arrived. Tourists from Ecuador, Argentina and Brazil have all arrived. This is like the World Cup.
It's always the same. The politicians do well, but for the rest of the country, the workers and those who work hard, there is no benefit.
The backdrop to the Copa America is not only the FIFA corruption scandal, but also tension on the streets. Here, a peaceful protest from teachers over pay early on in the opening day of the competition. Elsewhere, and in the days building up to the tournament, clashes as students demand free education as the country's income inequality remains high. But according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the economy is expected to grow in the next 2 years after a poor performance in 2014. Hosting a major international football tournament generates work in many sectors, but the Copa America will not distract Chileans from the challenges facing this country.
Well, you know, one of the big issues with the FIFA scandal is its impact on sponsorship. But how have the sponsors responded to the Copa America?
Well, Michelle, they see this as a real opportunity, and all the big sports brands, obviously, who sponsor the likes of Argentina's Leo Messi or Brazil's star player Neymar, both players at Barcelona, of course, they see this as a real opportunity to push their star players and to obviously to look to really grow in this Latin American market, which obviously perhaps isn't quite as important as the North American market or Europe or indeed Asia, but nonetheless it's a huge market here, and this is, as you mentioned earlier on, is one of the most important football tournaments on the football calendar. So they see that as a real opportunity. But as we mentioned in that report there, really what we've seen is this tournament is bringing bringing into question some of the social issues here and the inequality here, which really is, if you like, symbolised by the struggle of the students who say the football lasts 90 minutes, but education lasts a lifetime. So they want different priorities from the government in that sense.
All right. Thank you so